Hey folks, Keough here. After a prolonged absence, I'm back with a new video for you, and this video is going to capture, I'd say, the bulk of my training over the course of this week, week after my meet. And following my meet last Saturday, I felt pretty good because, to be perfectly honest, I didn't feel terribly taxed immediately after the meet. I didn't feel like I took a lot of hard attempts. I only took 7 attempts and made 5 of them, and of those 5, I'd say 4 were pretty easy attempts, and 1 was a bit of a grinder, and that was my second deadlift. But outside of that, I really didn't have to struggle with a lot of weights. The missed attempts that I made weren't like brutal struggles, which are sometimes hard to recover from. I basically just failed, for for lack of better phrasing. So I feel pretty fresh coming out of this meet. It is going to take me a while to sort of get back into form here. I tried to do a little bit of training this week, and to try to introduce a little bit of volume in what is not really quite a deload, but sort of like a quasi deload. It's somewhere between a deload week and a and like an actual a training week. And for me, it's like it's the same as a switching cycle, or a switching phase, or an introductory microcycle. I mean, different programmings have different terms for the period that I'm going through right now. But basically, again, somewhere between a true deload and a work week is what I'm doing right now. I did 215 for 5 sets of 7, and later in the week I did 230 for 4 sets of 5, and then 230 for a set of 6 on bench, and finished the week today squatting 325, 5 sets of 5. Again, the weights all feel slow, they all feel heavy. It's going to take me some time to get back into the training. I definitely feel like I've lost a step at this point, and part of that has to do with preparing for the meet, taking time off, actually going through the meet, and being at least a little fatigued as a result of the meet. And part of that also has to do with the fact that leading up to this meet, I wasn't able to do the same amount of training as I normally would like to leading up to it, and so I had to cut volume down, particularly on my squat, and that really affected my squat strength. As far as my knee goes, I got my MRI results back a few days ago. I posted this, I think, in the comment section in one of my videos. But basically, what they told me is this: they told me that I had a partially torn calf muscle, and a hematoma that wasn't caught when I originally had an ultrasound done. It's apparently a medial tear, so the tendon's still attached. There's no damage to the tendon, and it should be a pretty easy fix. They told me 6 weeks healing time. Should be good as new. I should not have to have surgery, but they're referring me to an orthopedic surgeon for him to take a look at it, and he's going to give me, I guess, his opinion at some point. But my plan is just to go through physical therapy twice a week for at least a couple weeks, and then reevaluate and progress from there. And while I'm doing that, I'm basically going to do my training as normal, because my calf feels really good, and it feels really good in training. And I was instructed as to certain things that I don't want to do. No ballistic movements right now, no heavy calf work. But to be honest, I don't really do that stuff anyway. So squatting feels fine, and I think it's going to be fine on my calf, and so I'm going to take a very small chance by trying to squat on it over these next few weeks. I think it's going to be just fine. This is 325 for 5 sets of 5, and this weight really just felt really heavy. I was glad I got the reps in, but I just really haven't done a lot of squatting over the last few weeks, and my squat has really taken a step back. And it's something I noticed in the training leading up to the meet, and it's something that I noticed at the meet, because I really just got crushed by 513, and 520 came up pretty smooth in training. And it's something that I hope to rectify this training cycle by being able to sustain a good amount of volume on squatting, but but not necessarily trying to overdo it. And so my plan for this training cycle is to gradually escalate volume and frequency over time. Start by squatting, I'd say maybe twice a week to maybe 3 times a week. And for this first mesocycle, I'm probably going to be looking at 70 to 80 bar lifts between 70 and 85% on my squat. And I'm going to build that up at about 10% intervals by mesocycle until I run a 2-week intense phase right before my week, in which I'm doing upwards of, I'd say, 130 bar lifts within that intensity range just for my squat. I'm going to train entirely without knee wraps. I don't really have a choice, but I'm going to do that entirely without knee wraps this cycle for my squat. And otherwise, I'm just going to try and get back into it. Leading up to the last meet, I called it the road to 1400, and 1400 was a possibility. And I just fell apart a few weeks before my meet, and it's unfortunate, but that's what happens, and I don't have any better way of describing it. My body just kind of fell apart right before I got there, and my total and my performance reflected that. And so I'm going to try to rebuild. This is not necessarily going for 1400 in July. I'm going for progress, and so number one, I'm trying to get myself healthy. I'm still having issues with my adductors, and I really need to get that figured out, so I'm going to be working on that. I'm going to try and get myself healthy, and I'm going to try and rebuild some of these areas that I've lost a little bit on. I'm going to really try and rebuild my squat and do whatever I need to do in order to do that. And I'm going to be looking for progress in July. So the goal that I'm shooting for is anything over 1355. That's a baseline goal for me. I want to make attempts, and I want to break 1355, which is my best meet total. That's my goal. I think I'm going to be in a position to do it. It's just a matter of getting healthy and staying healthy, and we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping for the best, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make that happen. Anyway, keep checking in. I will start having a lot more videos for you very soon.